Okay, so we should be on weeks 3 and 4 of the practice. Some of the things that you will need are a chair, these 2 blocks. What I'd like you to do for week 3 and 4 is memorize the sequence of these poses and then practice them on your own. Working on the breath count, we're going to do an Ujjayi breath. So you're going to block the back of the throat slightly, and it's going to sound like a Vader breath. Inhale and exhale only through the nose, extending and expanding the lungs as you're breathing in, and then contracting the lungs fully as you're exhaling. Block the back of the throat slightly. Inhale through the nose slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So it should sound start the practice like that, starting off in an Ujjayi breath. Maybe doing that cycle, 10 Ujjayi breaths, inhaling and exhaling equals 1 breath. And then throughout the entire practice, with each of the poses, you want to hold the poses for 5 to 10 full breaths. The first pose is Tadasana. From Tadasana, you want your feet, they can be hips distance apart, which is a little bit easier for balancing if they're not closed together. Or you would bring the feet completely closed together, so the feet are touching and then the thighs are closed. From here, you would bend the knees, and then imagine you're lifting the kneecaps and engage the thighs. So if you notice, it's a little bit harder to engage the thighs with the knees bent, but trying to engage the thighs, lift the kneecaps, that keeps the thighs engaged, and then you can press the knees back. So that'll prevent hyperextending the knees. So from this movement then, keeping the thighs engaged, then tilt the hips slightly back, and then tilt the tailbone forward. Everything from the navel down, squeeze that in and up towards the spine. So you're sucking the belly in, lengthen the spine, reach the crown of the head as high as you can. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and down the back. And then from here, you want to straighten the arms so that the triceps are actually engaged. Straighten the arms, the fingertips are closed, the palms are facing the side. Reach the crown of the head again. Make sure that the thighs are engaged. Press the feet into the mat. Find length in the spine. Squeeze the navel in and up again. And then from here, bring the awareness to the tip of your nose. So you're actually crossing your eyes here. So you're looking at the tip of your nose. So here, bringing the awareness to the tip of the nose, and then breathing deeply in through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Inhale again deeply. Exhaling there. Make sure the thighs are engaged, the knees are lifted. Inhale deeply. Lift the navel in and up. Exhaling, roll the shoulders back away, triceps are engaged. Inhale again deeply, lengthen the crown of the head. Exhaling there. Vrksasana, tree pose. So from here, you can either not use a chair or you can use a chair. The chair is going to help for a balance. So begin with the left side chair, shifting the weight into the left foot. And then from here, again, try to do the same thing with the kneecap, so you're not hyperextending the knees. So bend the knees slightly, engage the thigh, and then press the left knee back. Use the arm on the chair for support. Then from here, you can begin to shift the weight into the left foot, and then lift the right toes off the ground. You can balance the right toes if that's enough for you. And then from here, if you'd like to, you can bring the foot to the ankle. You can bring it to the calf. Or you can bring it all the way up to the inner thigh. So you want to make sure that if you do bring it, it needs to be up above the knee. Make sure that the foot doesn't go on the knee, so you don't want to injure your knee. So it's either below or it's all the way above the knee. So eventually you want to work towards the foot being all the way up in the inner thigh, and then from there you want to press the thigh into the foot. So press the thigh into the foot. You begin to find length as you do that. Tilt the tailbone slightly forward, and then squeeze the navel in and up. Roll the shoulders back away from the ears, And then from here, you want to work towards pressing the right knee out. So press the thigh into the foot, press the right knee out, press the foot firmly into the mat, roll the shoulders back away from the ears. The hand can come to heart center. You'd steady your gaze at a point in front of you. And then from here, if you'd like to, you can try to begin to lift the left arm, bringing that to heart center. Once you're at heart center, try to work on the alignment again. Bring the awareness to your foot, press the foot firmly into the mat, engage the left thigh, tilt the tailbone slightly forward, press the thigh into the foot into the thigh, and then press the right knee out. Bring length to the crown of the head. And then from here, if you'd like to, you can begin to raise the arms. Roll the pinkies in towards each other so that the shoulders roll away from the ears. And then lift, lift, lift. Reach the hands up high, reach the crown of the head, press the foot firmly, press the thigh into the foot, press the right knee out again, tilt the tailbone forward, lift the navel in and up, find length here, and then bring the awareness again to that Ujjayi breath. Breathing here for 5 breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, long, steady, slow breaths, holding it here for 5. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Bringing the chair to the right side, we'll begin on the right foot. Step the feet out so they're about 3 feet apart. Point the right toes out to the side. The right toes will face all the way towards the right side of the mat. And then from here, we have a tendency to keep this knee rolled forward. You want to roll that knee, the thigh out to the right, so that the right knee is in line with the right middle toe of the right foot. And then from there, press firmly into the outer edge of the left foot, trying to open the hips here. Bring the hands to the hips, and then you want to do this tilting action of the hips here. So you want to press the right hip into the left hip. Notice how my hips are rolling like this. I'm not lunging forward first. I'm really tilting the hips, tilting the hips. Continue to tilt the hips. You begin to feel a stretch in the right leg, tilting, pressing the right hip into the left. And so maybe you can't move anymore because maybe the leg isn't open enough. And then from there, you can bring the hand to the chair, pressing the hand into the chair, and then lifting the left arm overhead. Make sure as you're holding this pose, the thighs are engaged. You're lifting the kneecaps, lifting the legs. Tilt the tailbone forward slightly. Press the right hip into the left hip. Lift the navel in and up. Find length in the crown of the head. And then from there, slowly coming back up. Bringing the feet back to the center. And then stepping the feet in together. Utthita Trikonasana with a block. Then taking the feet about 3 feet apart. A little bit wider than hips distance, and then rotating the right toes 90 degrees so the toes face the right side of the mat. Then from here again, the block is on the outer edge of the right foot. Then again from here, roll that right knee out so that it's in line with the right middle toe. Bring the hands to the hips. Tilt the right hip into the left hip, tilting the hips there. Try to find length in the spine again. Tilt the hips more, lengthen the spine. And then from there, bring the hand down to the block. Straight arm. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, and then try to keep the eye of the elbow facing forward. So you're rolling the elbow in towards the body, and then the front bent side of the elbow is facing forward. And then from there, lifting the left arm up towards the ceiling. The gaze can be straight. If it's straight, try to find length in the crown of the head. Tilt the tailbone forward. Engage the thighs. Try to press the left hip forward, and then lengthen the spine. And then if you'd like, you can bring the gaze all the way up towards the thumb, facing up towards the ceiling or the sky. And then again, holding this for 5 breaths, inhaling deeply through the nose, exhaling there, Ujjayi breath, inhaling deeply, exhaling there, holding it for 5 breaths. And then slowly inhaling back up, coming back to standing. Moving into Utthita Trikonasana without the blocks. Stepping the feet out about 3 feet apart, rolling the right toes to face the right side of the mat. Again, press the right hip into the left hip, press, 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 engage the thighs are really engaged, and then try to reach the arm forward, rotate the right hip into the left, and then from there placing the hand onto the outer edge of the right foot onto the mat, and then the left hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Try to find length in the spine here. The right spine will tend to crunch down. You want to really find length there, lengthening the crown of the head, and then you can bring the gaze all the way up towards the thumb. Reach the heart forward, roll the shoulders back away, keep the legs engaged, lift the navel in and up, pressing the left and the right hip forward, and then slowly inhaling back up, and then exhaling, stepping back to the top of the mat, the feet together. Utthita Parsvakonasana, you're going to take a little bit wider of a stance that you did in triangle pose. So you wanted to maybe about 4 feet apart. And then from here, rotate the right toes towards the right 90 degrees. And then make sure that the left leg is really straight and engaged. Keep that left leg engaged. Make sure the right knee again is rolled out towards the right middle toe. And then from there, bending the knee. You want the right knee to come towards 90 degrees. You want the right thigh parallel to the mat. I'm getting really bit up by mosquitoes right now. Bringing the arms out to the side and then reaching the right arm forward, reach it forward again, and then if you have the chair, you can place the hand or you can place the forearm onto the chair and then swing the left arm in front of you, bring it all the way up overhead, roll the pinky in towards you, roll the shoulders away from the ears, try to press the hips forward, reach the arm up as much as you can, roll the heart towards the ceiling, and then press the right knee out towards the right pinky toe. Make sure you're finding a nice lunge in the leg there. Reach, reach, reach. The gaze is all the way up towards the left middle finger. Press the right shoulder away from the ears. Breathing here for 5, inhaling and exhaling, Ujjayi breath. And then slowly when you're done, inhaling back up, bringing the feet to the center, and then exhaling back, both feet facing the center. Taking the feet out about 4 feet apart, so wider than triangle pose. Again, bringing the right toes to face the right side of the mat, making sure the right knee is faced out towards the right middle toe, and then taking a 90-degree bend in the right leg. Make sure the right knee doesn't come past the ankle. If it does, then you want to take a wider stance so that it's at 90 degrees, not past that. Reach the right arm forward, and then the right block would be on the outside of the right foot. So reach it forward, and then you can press the right arm onto the block, and then swing the left arm in front of you and then overhead. Try to press that left hip forward, finding a nice stretch in the hip and the body. Reach the left arm all the way up, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Press the right knee into the right arm. So you're pressing the right knee out towards the pinky toe. If you'd like to, you can also bend the forearm, bring the forearm down to the thigh, and then swing the left arm overhead, taking this variation. Or if you'd like to, you can remove the block, bring the right hand all the way down towards the mat, and then swing the left arm overhead, breathing here for 5. Ujjayi breath, and then when you're done, slowly inhaling back up, and then exhaling, stepping both feet together, then moving into the opposite side. Virabhadrasana I, a nice wide stance, about probably like in between 3 to 4 feet apart. And then beginning with warrior 1 on the right side, you'll bend the right knee out to the side, bring the right toes to face the right side of the mat, and then from here, bring the left toes in slightly. So working on the alignment of the hips here, press firmly into the outer edge of the left heel, and then make sure that the left leg is really, really straight and engaged. So from here, I might often see people have this leg bent and the hip pressed forward. You want to make sure that you're pressing through that heel so that the leg is straight. And then constantly bring your awareness to that. So you might notice as you're holding it, your knee is going to be bent, and then be like, ah, press it, press it, press it, press it. Keep that really, really engaged. Use the strength of the back leg to press the left hip forward and the right hip back. So as you're standing here with the leg straight, you can just work on the alignment of the hips. Press through that leg, press the left hip forward, press the right hip back. And then again, press through the heel, left hip forward, right hip back. Try to tilt the tailbone slightly forward, and then squeeze the navel in and up. So you're protecting your lower back. Sometimes people will have a tendency to do like a back bend in these. You want to make sure that there's not too much of a bend. So lift the navel in and up. And then from here, keeping the back leg engaged, trying to keep the hips squared towards the center or towards the front of the right foot, then you can begin to bend the right knee, bending the right knee. And then again, as you're bending it, you might begin to open up to the side. Try to really press the left hip forward again, right hip back, pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. And then the right knee should come to a 90-degree angle, or working towards that. From here, lift again, the navel in and up, and then the arms can roll up. The pinkies roll in towards each other so that the shoulders roll away from the ears. Then reach the arms up high, roll the shoulders away, tilt the tailbone forward, left hip presses forward, right hip back, press through the back heel, the back leg is engaged. Inhale deeply, Ujjayi breath, exhaling there. The gaze can be up towards the hands here. The hands can be closed, but if the shoulders are really tight, it's okay to leave them open. Eventually, you'd work towards closing the hands, and the gaze would be up towards the thumbs. And then slowly inhaling back up, and then moving into the opposite side. Warrior two. So taking a nice wide stance. Let's start on Warrior two on the left side. So bringing the left toes 90 degrees to face towards the left side of the mat. The right foot can be parallel to the back of the mat. So you have a straight line with the foot, straight line with the back of the mat. And then from here, a nice wide stance, bending the right knee from here. You want to make sure, again, the knee doesn't come past the ankle. So you don't want it to be too far lunging forward. You want it to be at least 90 degrees. Press firmly into the outer edge of the right foot, and then make sure the right leg is engaged. Imagine that you're pressing the left hip forward and the right leg back, and then pressing that left knee back towards the pinky toe. So you almost feel a stretch in the hips here. Lift the navel in and up. Try to prevent a really big arch in the back right there. So you want to tilt the tailbone forward, lift the navel in and up, finding a nice tall straight spine, bringing the arms out to the side, roll the shoulders away from the ears. From here we'll work on a shoulder technique here. So roll the palms up towards the ceiling, and then try to roll the shoulders down the back away from the ears. Reach the fingertips as far as you can, and then keeping the shoulders rolled away from the ears, rotate only the palms down towards the mat. Try to keep that alignment with the shoulders so that you can keep them nice and open. And then from here, find the length in the spine, reach the crown of the head, tilt the tailbone forward. Try to make sure you're not leaning too far forward and not leaning too far back. You want a really nice straight spine here. Again, bending the front knee, press that left knee out towards the pinky toe. We have a tendency to bring the knee in. You want to make sure that it's in line with the right middle or the left middle toe. So from here, and then again, breathing here for 5. The gaze can come left towards the middle finger of the left hand, or the hand that is over the bent foot. And then slowly coming up. So you'd hold that again for 5 breaths. Parsvottanasana. So the right leg steps forward, the left leg steps back. The left toes can be out slightly. Feet are about 3 feet apart. The left toes again would be out slightly. There go my dogs. And then from here, tilt the left hip forward, the right hip back, working on that alignment. Engage the legs here. Make sure the right knee is rolled in line with the right middle toe, and then keep the thighs engaged. So we have a tendency to kind of bend the knees. Try to keep the thighs engaged. Tilt the tailbone slightly forward, and then from here, shifting the weight forward. So you're pressing the right hip back, left hip forward. Then you can bring the hands to the chair. Again, try to work on the alignment. So sometimes you'll have a tendency to move the hips. I'm over exaggerating obviously, but move the hips out. You want to make sure that the right hip tucks under and then the left hip comes forward. And then make sure that you're not like too far hunched forward like this. You want to find a nice straight spine. So finding a nice straight spine with the back. Eventually, if you can work towards your forearms on the chair. Try to find length in the spine again. Try to make sure that the tailbone or the hips are in line with each other. There's an even plane with the hips. Breathing here for 5. Or if you don't want to use the chair, eventually you can move towards blocks. So with the blocks by both of the feet, you can place the hands onto the block, and then again work on the alignment there. So pressing the right hip back, left hip forward, lengthen the spine here. Then eventually you can work towards lowering the blocks a little bit more. You can work towards lowering the blocks even more, or you can work towards bringing the hands all the way down to the mat and then folding the torso all the way over the right leg. Again, making sure that the hips are even though. So you don't want to compromise the hips coming into this pose. You want to make sure that the right hip is back, left hip is forward, and then you can fold forward over the leg. Make sure again the right leg is engaged, engaging the right leg. We have a tendency to bend this knee, Make sure you press through the outer edge of the back heel in whichever variation you chose to take for Parsvottanasana. Salamba Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. If you have a neck injury, then you might not want to do this pose. So we'll start with legs up the wall. Walk all the way up towards the side of the wall so that you're facing the side. And then coming down to lie on your back. So imagine this is the wall. You'll lie down and then walk the legs up the wall. Bring one leg up, then bring the other leg up, and then work your back so that you're in line with the legs, and then lie all the way down. The arms can be out by the sides, and then the feet and the legs are just resting on the wall. You would just hold this here, bringing the awareness to your breath, and then just relaxing into this pose for about 5 minutes. Or you can just hold it up for just 1 minute. Eventually you want to work up to holding shoulder stand for 5 minutes or more. And then slowly, whenever you're ready, you can drop the legs down to the right side and then use your hand to press you back up. Moving into shoulder stand using blankets or towels. So you'd want to take the towel, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And then from there, you can lie that down across the mat. And then do the same thing, folding that in half, and then lying that across the mat. You want to make almost like a stack, and then taking another towel, lying that on top. Again, the same thing, just slightly back a little bit more. Roll onto your back. You would bring the shoulders so that there's about 2 inches from the shoulders to the edge of the blanket. So walk the shoulders down. It's about, maybe like an inch actually from the edge of the blanket. And then relax the head down. From here, press the hands into the mat, lift the feet up towards the ceiling, and then using the hands, press the hips all the way up. Oh, there goes my speakerphone. Walk the hands up the back, and then try to roll the right shoulder underneath of you, and then the left shoulder underneath of you, walking the hands up the back, and then pressing the legs up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you don't move the head or the neck in this pose so that you don't get a neck injury. And then from here, you want to eventually walk the hands so that they're all the way up towards the upper back, and then you want to press the pelvis forward, and then press the ankles back. The thighs are kind of engaged in this pose. The chin should be tucked, and the heart should reach towards the chin. Breathing here, you want to hold this pose for 5 minutes, or you can hold it for 20 breaths. If that's too hard, then just hold it for 10 breaths, work up to 20 breaths, or you can hold it for a minute and then work up to 20 breaths. Again, constantly bringing the awareness to the legs, so try to lift the legs, press the pelvis forward, bring the ankles back, continuing to work on this alignment, just continuing to lift, press the pelvis forward, press the ankles back, doing that over and over and over again. Moving into Halasana, so the legs are folding back behind the head, the toes reaching the ground behind the head. From here, you clasp the hands behind your back, and then again, try to roll the right shoulder under, the left shoulder under, straightening the arms, and then pressing the arms into the blanket here. If the ankles or the toes don't touch the mat or the ground, then you can keep the knees bent. Some people might start up here. Eventually, the knees will make its way down to your forehead, and then the ankles will start working down, working down, working down, until eventually you can straighten the legs, moving into Halasana. So from here, you don't want to be rounded too much forward. You don't want to be too much back. You kind of want to try to find a tall, straight spine. Imagine that you're slightly tilting the pelvis back, so you're finding length in the spine. So I'm not sure if you can notice the micro movement in the camera, but from here, I'm not engaging my pelvis or my spine at all. And then I'm slightly tilting the tailbone back, finding length in the spine, noticing that my heart reaches down towards my chin. Straight legs here, holding this for 5 breaths. And then when you're slowly coming down, you can use the hands for support here. Keep the legs really, really close into your body. Suck the belly in, keeping the legs really close. Using your core to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time, keeping the legs as close as you can. Using the core again, slowly, slowly rolling until you feel your back or your lower back meeting the ground. And then from there, you can roll both legs all the way down. Moving into Savasana. So we'll lie on our backs. You can use a blanket to get comfortable if you'd like to. So whatever you need to do to get comfortable for the next 15 minutes, lying on your backs. I'm covering myself up so that I don't get bit by a million mosquitoes, because that's what's happening right now. And then rolling down, you want your legs to be slightly apart and let the feet flop to the sides. From here, bringing your gaze up, looking down the spine, make sure that your spine is straight. So you might be leaning too far to the right or left. Try to find a nice neutral spine, and then roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears. The arms are slightly apart. The palms face up towards the ceiling. And then from here, release the tension in the legs. Release the tension in the back. Relax the arms. Release all the tension around the eyes and the face. Relax the muscles around the cheeks, the jaw. Relax the breath. Relax the mind. So stay tuned for some more videos. I've been a little bit in a grieving process for the past few weeks, so I haven't been posting anything. And thank you so much for those of you that have reached out to me. I really do appreciate you checking up on me. It means a lot. I will be soon. I feel like I'll be ready more, but I will be posting more videos, and I'll be sharing more pictures with you and sharing some more of my practice and the teachings that I'm going to be learning. So stay tuned. In 2 weeks, I will post another video for weeks 5 and 6. So if you have any questions, check out my links below or after this slide, or also feel free to send me an email directly. Some of you have been emailing me, and that has been amazing. I've been able to tailor the practice for you and help you through some of the poses, or answer any of the questions that you have. Definitely feel free to reach out to me. I will respond as soon as I can, and I really, really appreciate the one-on-one interaction. It means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much. Have a good day.